I think it's a good idea for me to give you guys the meditations that I use, because they really are the reason that I have gotten from being completely paralyzed by overthinking about what it was that I wanted to do to absolutely going balls to the wall, like have a thought about something that I want to do and execute it within the same day or the same week type of energy. Hi friends, welcome back to my 30-day series on how to become a food content creator in 2025. Today we are talking about the meditations that I have used to help me get from a place of being completely stuck in my head about what I wanted to do into actually going after my dreams. So I saved the meditations video for kind of the last aspect of how to get out of your head for content creation, because I wanted to set you guys up with some systems and some practices that you could use in order to implement the things that you get from the meditations. So this was very intentional. I have a very busy week ahead with a day in the life, filming brand collaborations, filming a restaurant collaboration sample. I want to make sure that I'm in the best mental space possible. It took a really long time for me to get here, but there's a couple very specific meditations that I use, coupled with the practices that we've talked about already, to get me to this place. I'm not partnered with this brand, but it is definitely on my list of goals for Q3 and Q4. Breathe is the meditation app that I use. I'm obsessed with them. I love them. I think that of all the meditation apps that I've used, this one has been the most effective in helping me to break some of my self-destructive habits. So without further ado, the first 3 meditations that I'm going to recommend are sleep meditations. These are kind of things that talk to you while you're asleep, so you can use them with headphones. I just kind of set it on my nightstand and let it play while I go to sleep. The first one is going to be something called Detox Your Life. This is a meditation that I use when I'm just kind of feeling overwhelmed, when I feel like I'm off track, when I'm not necessarily staying on top of the cleaning the way that I want to, when I'm having too much wine while I'm out with friends, or wine while I'm in the house watching TV, when I am not necessarily living up to the standard that I want to be living to for execution of my own goals. I'm going to do Detox Your Life meditation. And what this does is it's going to help you kind of eliminate some of the fluff that you've allowed to creep back in over time and help you get back on course. So if you've been too junky, you're going to wake up and clean probably. If you've been scrolling too much, you might delete your social media apps. This app has been really great in the sense that it's helped me to kind of change some of my self-destructive behavior. It's a very effective, very quick way to get you back on track when you feel like you've kind of lost your focus. Another one that I love is the motivation meditation. And you can use this as like a daytime meditation where you sit down and you like really get focused and do some deep breaths and you listen to this meditation. I listen to this one at night because I've also found that if I'm in a space of overthinking, listening to this motivation meditation, and when I say I listen to these, I'll set up a playlist on this Breathe app, because you can set a playlist and decide I want to listen to meditations about not drinking, I want to listen to meditation about motivation, detoxing my life, and awakening my intuition, which is another one that I use. It's actually the third one. You can set a playlist and listen to those. You'll notice that you're starting to implement change day to day based on the sleep meditations that you're listening to. So I really love to listen to the motivation one, because if I'm getting into a space where I'm overthinking and I'm just not allowing myself to act on the things that I'm kind of like thinking about, listening to the motivation one will kind of kick me into gear so that I can stop overthinking and start doing. And then the last sleep meditation that I love is the awakening your intuition. So further to the point of kind of overthinking things, there are times when we'll just get kind of like a download where God will speak to us directly and say, you need to do this. This 30-day series is one of those things. I was literally in the shower and God said, you need to do a 30-day series. And a week later, I uploaded my first video. The reason that I've gotten to the place where I'm not overthinking and I'm just kind of like allowing myself to listen to my intuition and act accordingly is because I do this meditation occasionally on awakening your intuition. And I do it occasionally now, but for about a 6-month period, I listen to this and another one that they have called Manifest Your Goals and Transform in Miracles. And it really just kind of pours into you affirmations about listening to your voice, about following your dreams, about living an abundant life. Because if your nervous system is not attuned to that kind of thing, you're going to constantly reject any kind of ideas that align with where you want to go in your life. Which brings me to the meditations that I will do while I'm awake. And this is just like a short list, but I'm going to give you 3 meditations that I do while I'm awake that I found to be tremendously helpful. The first one is going to be awakening your confidence. because one of the things that happens for us is we have these ideas about stuff. We have this intuition. We have that little voice that tells us to do stuff. But we're not confident enough in who we are and what we bring to the table and how we are perceived by other people to actually execute the vision that we have. And so we get these ideas and then we sit on them and we overthink them. And that is kind of why I gave you the practices to get over imposter syndrome, and I gave you the practices to build your confidence. Awakening your confidence is a great meditation to add to those practices, because it's going to affirm you in your waking moments to understand that you are valid. You are valuable. Your voice is valuable. People want to hear what you have to say. What you contribute to the world is important. And those little ideas that you have are not so little. They're actually really, really huge. And they're just waiting to be executed by the only person who can do them the way that they're intended to be done. And that is you. So awakening your confidence has been huge for me, because it's helped me come into a space where I fully understand that what I bring to the world is valid and important, and it needs to be heard. So awakening your confidence, if you don't do any other ones, please do that one. That is a waking meditation, something that you can do in the morning. You sit on your yoga mat and you just really deep breath and hone into what they're talking about. Another one that I really love to do during my waking hours is finding self-discipline. If you're one of those people who gets home after a long night and you're like, I'm tired, I don't feel like doing this, and then you kind of just throw away your goals, this is for you. And I did this one repeatedly about 2 years ago, where I was just really struggling to show up for myself. Because the thing is this, you have these goals for you. Nobody else is going to be hurt if you don't accomplish your goals. While the world will not have the beauty and the enlightenment that you bring to the table, the only person who will know you didn't bring it to the table is you. You will wake up in 5 years and be disappointed in the fact that you did not act sooner. And so finding your self-discipline has been key for me in really getting out of my own way and tapping into the part of myself that is fully connected and committed to executing the goals that I have. And then the last one is the nervous system reset. And you've probably heard a lot about healing your nervous system and resetting your nervous system in social media lately. It's a very trendy thing to talk about. I think it's very trendy to talk about because the more that people become aware of the things that have held them back, the more open they are about sharing them with other people so that they can also get through that hard part of overcoming your self-destructive or self-limiting behaviors. And there's also a meditation about overcoming self-limiting beliefs. Get the Breathe app, you'll see it on there. I think they actually have a 14-day free trial, so that's just something to keep in mind. But nervous system healing is what is going to help you have that big idea and act on it, and then not have your body and your mind telling you that it wasn't good enough, or that you should do it over, or that you shouldn't release it. So a lot of times what happens is we will get an idea and we might act on it, and then we might release it and we don't get the response that we want, and we have this, well, people didn't respond to it, so I should just stop. And that's not the case at all. You have to keep going and build momentum and find your audience and find yourself, and understand that it takes time to become the person that you want to be. What the nervous system reset does is allow you to exist in the space of not knowing, but understanding that what you're doing is again valid and it is important, and that you deserve to be in the space. Because what'll happen is that nervous system will constantly come in and tap at you like you shouldn't be doing this, because it wants you to do the familiar thing. It wants you to do the thing you've been doing. It wants you to rot on the couch. It wants you to overdrink. It wants you to scroll until you fall asleep. It wants you to go to work to the job you hate, because that is all familiar to you. What resetting and healing your nervous system does is allows you to expand in a way that opens you up to being able to do something unfamiliar and uncomfortable until it becomes familiar and comfortable, because it is what you want to be doing. So those are the meditations that I feel like have absolutely changed my life on the Breathe app. And going into this week, and just into this new phase of my life where I'm doing brand deals and I'm on YouTube, and I am just really super hyper focused on going after my own goals. I have a very specific set of meditations and affirmations and practices that I like to implement to make sure that I'm setting myself up for success. So if you are kind of in a phase where you're setting yourself up and you're in a new era and you're trying to let go of self-limiting beliefs and you're letting go of self-destructive patterns, this set of meditations is going to be amazing for you because it's going to help you get over the hump of settling back into that old energy that you don't want to live in anymore. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please comment below. Make sure that you're here for the rest of the week because we're doing a sample restaurant collaboration, a brand collaboration, and then we're also just going to kind of do a day in the life so you can see how I execute my vision for my content creations. And at the end of this, we're going to film a video together. So I would love to see you here for all that. Please make sure that you like and subscribe, and I will see you all back here tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.